In order to have a smooth meeting, here are the some ground rules. Please put yourself on mute when you're not speaking. Don't interrupt while somebody else is speaking. Avoid chatting in the group chat while somebody else is speaking also. Support the speakers with warm smiles, claps, or emojis. Avoid divisive topics like sex, religion, or politics. Even if you do mention them, make sure that your opinions are very neutral and they don't cause unnecessary divisiveness. With that out of the way, I think we can go ahead with the meeting, and I would like to call on our club president to take us through this Independence Day version of this meeting. Please welcome club president, Toastmaster Mehak Kapoor, who is there on the ground with the people in the flesh, in the real world. Toastmaster Mehak Kapoor.
Thank you so much, Sarah Ketams, Toastmaster. As we are gearing up to celebrate the 75th year of independence on Monday, 10th of August. It has been so special that day we remember for all the glory that has us, all the people, the efforts and the struggles that we may have witnessed, and we might have to remember all the people who were involved in these organs. So with this, I welcome all the proud citizens, the storytellers, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests to the 89th session of Toastmasters Club of Storytellers. On this note, I would like to first of all welcome all our guests to the meeting. Thank you so much for coming and joining us for the meeting today. Now, I would like to have an introduction of our other guests. First, I would like to invite Toastmaster, Kenshire Toastmaster, Deepika Verma. Please introduce yourself.
Hello friends, मैं दीपिका वर्मा, डॉक्टर दीपिका वर्मा, LBC कॉलेज में मैं हिंदी लिटरेचर पढ़ाती हूँ. Happy Independence and welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up. Thank you so much, Toastmasters, for joining us for the meeting. Hope you're joining it for the first time. Next, from the online world, I would like to welcome our newest member, Toastmaster Uma. So please have a round of applause for her first.
Thank you for the warm welcome. I'm Uma, and this is my third or fourth meeting with you guys. And today is a special day of independence we are celebrating. So kudos to the group that we have decided and we are in for celebrations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Uma. Next, I would like to invite guest Pranod to please introduce himself. Next, I would like to invite guest Pramod to please introduce to the members.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Pramod Sapra. I'm Cookie and Deepthi and Mohit's Mamu. I'm joining in from USA. All the best for you. I'm proud of you all. So all the best.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining in. We hope you like the meeting. Next,
Sure.
I would like to invite guest Manorma to please introduce herself to the members.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing? Hope everyone is doing very well this afternoon. And I'm sorry I'm not able to come online just because of my network issues. And I am Manorma. I'm working as a consultant for a market research organization. Just for improvement of my public speaking, I came over here, and that's it. And it's a wonderful session which I could see. Amazing, and that's all the best for everyone.
Thank you so much. Hope you like the meeting. Next, we have Toastmaster Shweta. Please introduce herself to the members.
Okay, I mostly come to your meetings, but again, I will introduce myself. Hello, everyone. This is Toastmaster Shweta from Toastmaster Club of West Delhi. And I would call myself the spiritual butterfly who keeps going from one place to another to spread ample of love that I have and good energies and knowledge, and keep learning from everyone, Shubhi, as well as you all. So thank you. Thank you always for showering so much of love and inviting me to your meetings. Thank you.
Shweta for joining us. And now I would like to invite the area director, Toastmaster Aditya, on stage to please introduce himself.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mahek. So, I'm Aditya. I'm a member of Phoenix Toastmaster Club in South Delhi Toastmaster Club, and I'm come to this meeting for a specific reason, also to enjoy the meeting, and also for a specific reason. And I hope that we all have a good time. Thank you.
Toastmaster Aditya, I hope you enjoyed the meeting. Now, with this, when we have welcomed all the guests, now we would like to invite the Toastmaster of the day, so that, okay, we have one more guest over here. Toastmaster Jitendra. So please, I would like you to please invite the members. Introduce yourself to the members.
So I have been joining this club for a long time. So today I got an opportunity. I wanted to give surprise to Dipti, and I came all alone. She was really surprised. That was an Independence Day surprise to Dipti and all.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jitendra. It was a very nice surprise. Now, on this note, I would like to invite our Toastmaster of the day, so that we can witness some stories from the India's independence.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing this afternoon? Everyone has had their lunch? Yes.
Yes.
I hope you are sleeping. Because of it is that the proof of the fact. That's all. So today is 13th of August. We are just 2 days away from 75th anniversary of India's independence. Do you know the statement, the speech with which Jawaharlal Nehru announced India's independence? I'm going to read a few excerpts from that speech. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awaken to life and freedom. A moment comes, but rarely in history, when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends, and when the soul of a nation, long suppressed, finds utterance. It is fitting that at this solemn moment, we take the pledge of dedication to the service of India and her people, and to the still larger cause of humanity. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, I request you to stand up and repeat after me the National Pledge of India, which used to be a routine when we were back in school, but has somehow lost its touch in the past few years. So I request people to stand and repeat after me. India is my country, India is my country. In all Indians are brothers and sisters. In all Indians are my I love my country
I love my country.
and I am proud of its rich and varied heritage. I am proud of its nations to be worthy of it.
That's right.
I shall respect my parents, respect my elders, and my elders. Everyone with courtesy. Everyone to my country, and all my people, the country, pledge devotion in their well-being, in their well-being, prosperity, and growth. This is what happens. Thank you very much, everyone, for taking this pledge. This is not just a pledge to our country, but it is also a pledge to our fellow countrymen. And with that, we will begin the proceedings of today's meeting. And as you all know, today's general evaluator is Toastmaster Mehak. And when I asked Toastmaster Mehak, what does she want freedom from? She said to me that she wants freedom from meddlesome neighbors who are always interfering in her life. Well, Toastmaster Mehak, I really hope that this Independence Day you get the freedom that you have been yearning for. Let us invite on stage the general evaluator for today's meeting, Toastmaster Mehak. All right, so it seems that many people are still not able to hear us clearly. Shweta,
Actually, sometimes it's very clear. Sometimes, the voice is breaking in between. Like when you were doing it, the pledge thing, half of the thing we were able to hear, half of the thing was not possible to actually do.
now is it clear? Shweta, now is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, right now it's very clear.
So the issue was that one of the speaker was on and it was resulting in. But the speaker is supposed to be on. Oh, this was on. It was interfering. Okay, I hope now it is clear.
Yes.
It's completely clear now.
Yeah, we try this. And just so that we don't face any issues moving forward, why don't all of us here in the physical room say one line so that we are sure that it is not the connection is not breaking. Ma'am, what do you want to say to everyone here? Anything? Happy Independence Day wish kar dijiye.
Happy Independence Day.
If all of you have heard, then you have to say thank you to her. Not
Thank
just
you.
Thank you and
Happy
same to you.
Yes.
all right. Ma'am.
Thank you, Deepika.
Lovely time. Am I audible?
One of them is yes, the other one no.
One of them is saying अब आराम से टीचर है चलो so those of us who heard can respond back to her. All right. So seems like we are still having some nagging issues with our audio.
Maybe if there are a lot of mics will be on around, no, then it will be coinciding with the frequencies together.
So we have turned off all the mics. That's one. Location इसको भी ना एक बारी mute करके मैं देखता हूँ. Okay. How about now?
Yes, very clear.
Very clear.
लोकेश सर मैंने इसको बंद कर दिया और मैंने इसको भी म्यूट पे कर दिया है. इसको भी मैंने म्यूट पे कर दिया. Guys, now just tell us वॉल्यूम कम है या वॉइस ब्रेक कर रही है?
सब अच्छा है.
सब अच्छा है अभी. हाँ.
वॉल्यूम कम है चिल्ला के बोल लेंगे बट वॉइस ब्रेक कर रही है तो फिर मजा खराब.
पहले वॉइस ब्रेक कर रही थी.
अभी कम से कम वॉइस तो आ रही है. इसे मैंने
हाँ, यस यस. It's much better now.
Let's continue. All right, so again, please a round of applause for our general evaluator Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. They say when you want a detailed evaluation, ask an expert. In a Toastmaster meeting, a general evaluator is often called as an expert. Well, I might not be an expert, but they also say that fake it till you make it. So, on this note, I would like to give the details of the role of a general evaluator, which is divided into 3 sections. First, the introduction of all the tag team players who are the supporters or who are my supporters who will support me in this role. Second is the evaluations done by the speech evaluators. And third is the evaluation done by the general evaluator of the whole meeting. So on this note, first I would like to invite a timer for the meeting to introduce her role. Toastmaster Uma, the timer for the meeting. The stage is yours.
Hello, thank you for giving me time to explain my role. As time is the essence of the meet and our lives, dear Toastmaster and guests, I, Uma, will be your timer for the meet, and I will alert each speaker with green color on the screen for prepared speech, 5 and 6 for the yellow screen, and red alert at the 7 minute. The second part is evaluation, which is 2 to 3 minutes, same. Green at 2 and 2.5 is yellow, and then red at 3. You have grace period of 30 seconds. And the third is table topic, 1 to 2 minutes. One is I'll show green screen. I'll just change screen and show you. This is how it will be showing green color when the time is up, minimum time, and the second yellow screen will be shown yellow, and at last when time is up it will be red. Hope that clarifies. At the end I'll present the report by sharing my screen for each prepared speech, evaluation speech, and table topic. Thank you. Since we are talking today about independence, so I feel we can not independently spending time, rather will be controlling our speeches to the time allotted. Thank you so much. Back to you, Sam.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Uma. Next, I would like to invite Toastmaster Deepti, the R counter for me.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a part of your tag team, Toastmaster Merit. And the R counter for today. And as an R counter, I will be tracking the R's and ums that you will be speaking, or any of the speakers will be using in whatever they speak. I will also track any pauses, long or short, so that I can give them to you as feedback later on. And yes, I will also be tracking your filler words, like, you know what, all right. So those are the kind of 3 things that I will be tracking in my role as an R counter throughout the meeting today. And I will present my report at the end in the GPs section. Thank you. Back to you, Nandini.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepti, for explaining your role so well. Next, I would like to invite a grammarian for the meeting, Toastmaster Renu, to introduce her.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. So, hello everyone. Today, I am your English teacher. I am going to play the role of grammarian, where my job would be to see the good and not so good usage of the English grammar. And also, I'll see to that if somebody is making mistakes in somebody is making some grammatical mistakes, then I would note it down, and then I will suggest how they can be rectified and they can be corrected. And now, as the grammarian of the day, I have 2 more jobs. First is to introduce the word of the day. So the word of the day today is euphoria. The meaning of this word euphoria is a state of extremely happiness. In when you are feeling extremely happiness or ecstatic. For example, if I use this word of the day in a sentence, it would be after seeing so much bloodshed in 1947 partition, the dawn of 15th August was extremely euphoric for all Indians. Like all Indians felt very happy on 15th August dawn. I hope I'm clear. And now I have to use, now I have to introduce the idiom of the day also. The idiom of the day today is all Greek. What does it mean is anything which is not at all understandable. Like whatever I'm saying is not clear to you, you can say whatever Renu ma'am is saying is all Greek to me. Anything which you cannot figure out or find out what the other person is trying to say, or you cannot read anything, you cannot understand the language. For example, whatever you have written on the blackboard or the whiteboard is completely all Greek to me. All the South Indian languages are all Greek to me. Friends, I would like to share something very interesting also with you. The origin, the history of this idiom all Greek is very interesting. You know, when all the Romans in the 16th or 15th century, their basic language, the main language were Latin and this Greek. They were bilingual people. The daily language people, the ordinary people used to use Latin language, but the posh people, they use Greek as their language. But with the time, the posh people declined and the use of this Greek language also started taking a backseat. And then what happened? Only Latin language remained in Rome. Everything was going well, but there was a problem. Because all the holy books, scriptures of the monastery, they were in Greek language. So when the young monks were asked to, do something, to speak out, they would say, it's all Greek to me. So because that was not at all understandable to them. So then only this idiom came into picture. It doesn't have to do anything with the Greek language, but they would say like this, yes, this is Greek to me. So then it became fashionable to using all Greek to me. So then experts were appointed, Greek experts who had the good knowledge of Greek language, and they translated all the holy books and all the written material into the Latin language. Then only the work was carried forward. What I think, the same thing happened in India also. If you say our ancient language was Sanskrit, all the Vedas, Puranas, everything was in Sanskrit only. But with the time, the Sanskrit declined, the use of this declined, and Hindi overtook. But then all the people, everything was translated into Hindi so that it became the common language of everybody. So I hope I'm clear to you people, and you will use this idiom of the day and the word of the day more and more so that you can become very frequent and you can use it later with similarity and the simplicity. So over to you, Toastmaster Mehak, the journey evaluator.
So much Toastmaster Renu for such detailed such an explanatory introduction of your role. Next, I would like to invite Toastmaster Manav, the active listener for the meeting. Okay, so next I would like to invite Toastmaster Jitendra as the active listener for the meeting.
Thanks in this speech. Active listener. Generally, in our life, we don't listen to anybody. I think 50% also, if we listen, then there is no problem. Most of the problems in life because we don't listen. We listen just to whatever is there in our mind. LISTN, if you rearrange, silent. You need to be silent to listen to someone. So that is why everybody interrupts a lot. And for me, again, if you rearrange, it is enlist. So to answer my question at the end, I will be asking people who are speaking here, I will be noting it down, and I will be asking some of the stuffs what they have spoken, and you have to enlist it. If you really are enlisting it, you also please enlist it or put it in your mind so that you are able to answer. And we have some goodies for this Independence Day, people who can answer the most difficult one. So we'll see who is listening or just there in the meeting and they're reading. Right? Like our Toastmaster of the day already said, you had a big lunch, so you are sleeping.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jitendra. And for all the goodies, we are all yours. So with this, I would like to explain my role. In the end, I will evaluate the whole meeting as a whole. Each role player and the meeting fully will be evaluated. So with this, I would like to hand over the stage back to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, once upon a time, there was a mother who gave 2 pieces of sweet to her son. The mother said, take the bigger piece for yourself and give the smaller piece to your friend. The boy went ahead and gave the bigger piece to his friend and had the smaller piece for himself. Now, this boy's mother was watching him through the window and then asked the boy, why did you give the bigger piece to your friend? The boy said, I feel right when I serve others more than I care for myself. Another incident, there was a time and there was a class of young students having fun, and they were having fun by eating peanuts. Soon enough, the entire classroom was filled with waste of peanut husk, and it started to resemble a dust. So when a teacher entered the classroom to look at the sight, the teacher became furious and started hitting the student on their wrist with a wooden scale. Now, when the teacher came to one particular boy and asked him to stick his hand out, the boy bravely refused to stick his hand out. He refused to get hit by the teacher, saying that he did not scatter peanut husks in the classroom. Now, while the first incident highlighted compassion, the second incident highlighted the attribute of standing up for what is right, for standing up for truth. This boy was none other than Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and he demanded Purn Swaraj or complete independence. This was his call to all the Indian, complete independence, Purn Swaraj. And this is the call because of which the entire British Empire shivered, and they finally knew that whom we are dealing with. We are dealing with one people, we are dealing with one nation, and we are dealing with ideologues like Bal Gangadhar Tilak, who can rally an entire nation behind their ideology. So friends, Bal Gangadhar Tilak is one of the tallest leaders of India's freedom struggle, and these were some anecdotes from his life. With this, I will now move on to the very first section of today's meeting, that is prepared speeches. And first up, we are going to have a speech from Toastmaster Arjun. Arjun, are you there? Yes, he is.
Yes.
And Toastmaster Arjun's speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Lokesh. So Lokesh, can I request you to share the objectives of Arjun's speech?
Purpose of the speech is, as a project, is the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. Also, the purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of the previous experience as a coach. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lokesh. And today, Toastmaster Arjun is actually pursuing the path of visionary communication. And today he's going to be delivering a project belonging to level 2. When I asked Arjun, what do you seek freedom from? Arjun said that he seeks freedom from being told what to do and when to do it. He will consider his life a success when he can buy groceries on a Tuesday at 11 a.m. or go to the gym bang in the afternoon at 3 p.m. So, Arjun, I really hope that this Independence Day you get what you desire for. And with this, the virtual stage is yours. I take a step back. Please take it.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Half Mentors. My speech title is Half Mentors. Has anybody read the book The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari? I also read that book at a very young age, at a very impressionable age. And the book describes a high flying lawyer who is burnt out and who had a similar highly successful friend who then goes away into the Himalayas to seek some kind of wisdom or some kind of knowledge. And he finds them also. And he finds this elusive, mystical group of sages of the Shivana. And then he comes back and becomes a mentor to this friend. And as a young boy reading this story, it created this expectation that we cannot really progress in life unless we have like that kind of mentor available to us, and that it will happen to everybody, that we will all get some divine guidance or some kind of help in our life. But as I started progressing in life, and it just became more and more clear that nobody's like that is going to come. There is maybe I am not really coachable, maybe I am not worthy of that kind of mentorship, or maybe such mentors don't really exist. And I negated all of that story, the whole story of Monk who sold his Ferrari, to the realm of fiction. But I got into the work life, I got a job, and then I started noticing that, you know what? I don't need like a full proper formal mentor or guru kind of figure. I can have half mentors, like how Chetan Bhagat describes in his book that there are half girlfriends where the boy has made somebody into his girlfriend, but the girlfriend doesn't even know his name, you know? And so the boy has turned her into a muse, and he's like using her for inspiration and whatever. He's doing all these kinds of things to try to impress her. And he's actually developing every life skill that is necessary to succeed in life, from writing poetry to articulating his thoughts to facing his own fears and talking to people, and all these things are happening because he has a half girlfriend. So similarly, I found that having a half mentor is also pretty effective. For example, my own boss, my first boss that I had was a batchmate of Raghuram Rajan, the economist from IIT Delhi, and he was a very uh, strong presence. Like we have all heard of people who talk about treating everybody else as their equals, or of treating, or of like inspiring awe. But my theory is that, you know, we all know everything. We are living in the age of excess information. Everybody knows everything. But to really penetrate into the depths of our mind, we need that live example. Like it doesn't really go inside unless there is somebody real in front of us who makes it go inside. Another example that I had was of two kinds of people where both of them were very similar to me, but both of them had chosen different paths in life. One of them had chosen the path of being very bitter and angry. And I could see that in his past, he was a very curious and very intellectually capable person. But he had chosen the path of resentment and anger. And I saw that where that road went. And another person like that, very similarly, had chosen the path of just being selfless and just being a very giving person, no matter how the world treated him. And I saw where that goes to. Another example that I saw was one of my colleagues who I treated like my brother, and who then, when the push came to shove, when he just completely betrayed me in some way. And I saw that, you know, this stuff like this is going to happen. And then another person who I always saw as somewhat, you know, like just because they could not articulate their thoughts properly, I did not treat them with proper respect. But then when in times that of great need, he was the person to help me. So I had all these half mentors where I learned so many things just from observing people very, very closely and carefully. And that brings me to the lesson that I have learned, that, like, I don't think people like Bill Gates or Elon Musk or all these things, they need mentors like this, or even people like us. Like, most of us are not lucky enough to have a formal mentor like that. But what you can do, I found, is that if you prepare yourself and you just decide to do what is correct and you just go ahead, then you will find mentorship. Because who is a mentor? A mentor is somebody who's already very successful, and by definition, a successful person has already too much work because they are so good, and people who are good are so rare in the world. Like, all of the work goes to those, and they're always too busy, so they'll always have extra work lying around. And if you are one of those people who has shown any kind of competence, then they will be glad to have you, because they are already so busy. They want somebody else to also share in their workflow. And so I've always found that half mentorship is a much better way to proceed. And just don't get hung up on finding some kind of a monk who sold his Ferrari kind of guru. That's it. Back to the table, back to the TM out of the day.
Arjun, that was fantastic. The online audience can take a minute to give feedback to Arjun on chat. People who are sitting in this room, I think they are part of our WhatsApp group. So we can provide feedback to Arjun on WhatsApp, or write it on a piece of paper, and we will forward it to Arjun definitely. Because this feedback is valuable. Let's take 30 seconds for it, and then we'll move on. You are in the group. Yes. All right, now, while we continue giving feedback to Arjun, I would now like to introduce the second speaker for today's meeting, which is Toastmaster Deepti. Toastmaster Deepti is pursuing the motivational strategies part. She is currently level 3. The level 3 project is elected project with storytelling. The purpose of the project is to deliver a speech which has a story in it, or to deliver a speech which itself is a story. The title of the speech is What's in a Name? Let us invite Toastmaster Deepti. What's in a Name? Toastmaster Deepti.
What's in a name? A rose by any other name will just smell as said the great playwright William Shakespeare. But my dear guests, friends, and Toastmasters, in the next 5 to 7 minutes, I am going to prove William Shakespeare wrong and make you believe that at the end, there's a lot in a name. So let's start with the story. Story of a name. Way back in the year 2006, a dear friend of mine from a small town called Meerut, which is up north of India, went down south to Chennai for a training program at a new job. Now, as she got down from her cab, she looked at the huge wrought iron black gates, and her thoughts started wavering from the sprawling, beautiful, lush green gardens in the campus to the hot, humid, and the uninvited weather of the city of Chennai. This is where she was going to be spending the next 2 months with 200 odd folks and a certain Sir Nagarajan Srinivasamurthy. Sir Nagarajan Srinivasamurthy, yeah, probably her able trainer for the next 2 months. And as she was walking down the aisle up to training room number 106, she reached out the door thinking, so might be bald, pot belly, or carrying the weight of his experience of the last 20-25 years. Who knows? Suddenly, she was stopped at the door, and somebody well dressed, well built, 30 something, took out his hand towards her. Hi, I'm Naga. Naam to suna hoga. You must have heard my name. My dear friend was shocked, stunned, and totally smitten by the sheer looks of Sir Nagarajan Srinivasamurthy. Yes, that was Sir. He invited her into the room and a round of introduction started, the usual round robin style. But halfway through, it was my dear friend's turn. She stood up and coyly started giving her introduction, still mesmerized by the aura of Sir Naga. Good morning, sir. I'm Upma Verma from Meerut, BTU, Technical University. I did my BTech there. And suddenly, Sir Naga's hand went up. Stop. Just repeat what you said, Upma. BTU, Technical University. Further back. What? Further. Upma. And that's when my friends, so Naga, the well-meaning guy, burst out in hysterical laughter. There was no noise in the room, pin drop silent, except for the loud laughter of Sir Nagaraja Srinivasamurthy. Now my all embarrassed friend Upma mustered some courage. She looked towards Sir and said, Sir, what's in my name? To which Sir Naga replied, my dear Upma, a name like that in South is like calling somebody a paratha up north. And with that, my friends, the entire class burst out laughing, including my dear friend Upma. And then Shakespeare says, what's in a name? Isn't it? Okay, interestingly, whenever somebody calls out a name, don't you all start conjuring up images of the person? Maybe, their body language, their persona, their gender, their culture. Okay, I'm not saying this out of thin air. Okay, and I'm saying this primarily because we have either heard that name before or we go by the literal meaning of it. Okay, let's take an example. When I say a name like Lallu or Nandu, what do you think of? You think of a person, maybe a skinny, lanky dad wearing a gamcha or a dusting cloth, oily head of hair, well combed, isn't it? Yes, your smiles tell me you guys are with me. Okay, let's take another example. What if I say something like Kavar Devendra Singh Shekhawat or Vikramaditya Chola? What do you think of? Princely stride, handsome, tall, isn't it? See, okay, closer home. Let's take Mehek. When you hear the name Mehek, what do you think of? Somebody charming, quiet, sprinkling her fragrance, isn't it? That's right. And then Shakespeare says, what's in a name? All right, interestingly, when my husband and me, we were about to name our 3-month-old baby, my very good-looking, handsome cousin, Ajita Khanna, pressed us into naming him Tejas. He said, with a name like that, our son will spearhead in shooters, will cutthroat competitions and always be on the top. Why? Because Tejas means luster, shine, brilliance, and power. But we were not up for so much of light. So we named him the sweet and melodious color, which literally means a fruit. And we want to know what Ajitab named his son? Well, the toddler is called Shamsher Nath Khanna. And then Shakespeare says, what's in a name? Well, thank you, Madam Timer, for showing me the yellow card. Because I am running late and I need to go and file a petition against our playwright, senior William Shakespeare. And if any of you are willing to sign the petition with me, then please raise your hand and say with me, at the end, there's a lot in a name.
There's a lot in
That's a lot in there.
Let us take 30 seconds to provide feedback to Toastmaster DP. DP has joined online, so the online members can send her a message in Zoom. And those who are sitting in this specific room can write their feedback on a piece of paper and then hand it over to DP. Let's take 30 seconds. All right now. So let us continue, and now I would like to share some anecdotes from the life, from the childhood of another freedom fighter, someone whom all of us look up to, we get inspired by him, we get invigorated by his story. And he is none other than Bhagat Singh. Bhagat Singh once famously said that when one Bhagat Singh falls, a million more Bhagat Singhs will rise. And you would find it interesting to know that that the seed of this famous quote was sown during Bhagat Singh's childhood. Once upon a time, a school-going Bhagat observed that an Englishman was beating an Indian man with a whip. The next day, he procured a sword and a pistol, and he went to his father's farm. He started digging the ground to bury those weapons. When his father asked Bhagat why was he doing so, Bhagat replied that sowing the gun will result in the growth of many more guns. And then he will use those guns to drive the Britishers away from India. Have you heard of author M. Juneja? M. Juneja is an authority on Bhagat Singh's life and history. And he has authored 7 books on Bhagat Singh. Now, author M. Juneja shares an anecdote, an aspect of Bhagat Singh's life, that during his schooling, Bhagat Singh read about 50 books. From the time his schooling got over, and during his college days, Bhagat Singh read about 200 books. But do you know the phase of life that Bhagat Singh read the most amount of books? It was during that time that he was in prison. And the fact is that he was in prison for 716 days, during which time he read about 300 books. Now, the first incident highlights that Bhagat Singh was a fearless revolutionary outsider, a human being who dared to look at the injustice and in the society and had the courage to do something about it. And the second factoid highlights Bhagat Singh was a man of high intellect and always wanted to explore more to books, to people, and to the environment around them. So, friends, again, we have looked at two aspects. One, having the courage to do something about the injustice in society. The second one is the nature of exploration. With this, let us explore some table topics, a session where all of us are going to have a lot of fun because we'll be thinking on our feet. And for the table topics session, I would like to invite the table topics master for today's meeting, Toastmaster Lokesh, on the stage. A round of applause for Toastmaster Lokesh. What do you want independence from in 2022?
Welcome, members and friends. The most important thing, I think, which I would like from all of us, is self-realization, what we can do for the country, for the society, for the people in my family. Believe me, if you start doing this self-realization will automatically improve your life. Thank you. Thanks.
A round of applause as Lokesh makes his way to the stage. A round of applause to the thanks Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jitendra. But it's time for us to share some stories from our past related to maybe not everyone is from the independence era. Most of us are in 70s or 80s born. Very few like Uma could be in 60s. So we are not seeing how people have fought for our country, for the freedom from the British Empire, and what will the struggle those people had. So I'll be asking some questions for you, which will be relating to that era, but very relevant to what action you can do today as a fighter of modern world, modern India, to fight against all the social evils which are still plaguing our country. And I'll start with one of the experienced Toastmasters. So I would like to have volunteers who are experienced Toastmasters just for the example. Anybody who would like to raise hands?
We want to nominate. All hands.
He has entered the all right. So we have DTM Brumender, and it's an honor for us to have him in physical form in our meeting. The structure of the table topic session is that I'm going to ask a question, then 30 seconds are given. And please, you can announce in 30 seconds so that they can start their speech after 30 seconds. And once they're finished, they have to watch timer. If you highlight timer, so they can watch the watch the screen. Please highlight her. Once the speech is over, I'm going to get back to the stage with the next speech. All right, Upinda, are you ready? All right. The question to you is, can you narrate a story from your school or college days on why do we need to maintain cleanliness around us by our own self? I'll repeat. Can you narrate a story from your school or college days on why do we need to maintain cleanliness around us by our own self? Please come to the stage.
Very esteemed guests. Growing up, I lived in a joint family, and that perhaps taught me a lot of lessons. When you live with about 10 to 12 people in one house, and when you share resources such as a kitchen, a bathroom, a bed, sometimes, it becomes of the utmost importance that you maintain cleanliness. Why? Take the example of a kitchen. I can cook, and there might be somebody in this room or online who might have had the benefit of tasting my cooking. But I leave a mess in the kitchen. So there are utensils all over the place. The way I cook is I will take one utensil, I'll use it, I'll find that okay, this is small, so I'll take a larger one, and I'll cook in that. I'll eat that smaller utensil as it is. But I used to get yelled at every day. And I would take offense at that. I would say, why am I getting yelled at? I'm at least doing you guys a service. I'm cooking for you. One day my mom showed me. She said that these are the utensils you get. These are the ones that have to be cleaned. Nobody's going to have food until you clean them. And I went through the rigorous process of cleaning all the utensils. And mind you, this was the 1980s. We did not have geysers in kitchen. We didn't have geysers in bathrooms. And this was winters. On that winter night, in cold water, I wiped every utensil. And that was my lesson. So I carried it forward into my life. For example, whenever I park my car, I always make sure I park it in reverse so that getting out is easy. Whenever I leave my room, I make sure that it is a room I want to come back. And whenever I go to the kitchen, I make sure I have the right utensils. So the quote that cleanliness is next to godliness is not without meaning. And that's the reason, and I learned it the hard way, why we must maintain cleanliness. Learn from me, don't make a mess, Mr. Tcst'S. That's what he expected to add on to some guests. The table topics is impromptu speech. The presence of mind is to but you difficult to convey your message. That is why I encourage all our members, especially our guests, to participate in this session. Believe me, once you are out of it after participation, so this meeting, you realize, yes, I would have spoken. That if you decide for personal things, in again like this, come back and this is maybe I learned in the next meeting. So all the members, all the guests, they would say, Deepika, Sonia, anybody from the guests must be your own side. Please raise your hand on this. Come on, take the one. Krishna is from Toastmasters of Red Delhi. Krishna, as you know the process. I will be giving you a question, 30 seconds time to think, and you have 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes to speak. The question to you is, can we celebrate Independence Day by not promoting corruption? Can we celebrate Independence Day by not promoting corruption? Stage is yours.
I consider myself as a who is not good with history, political science, or job. I'm very bad when it comes to social science.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gather some kind of history to be when the team or team is itself historic, theme. When it comes to Independence Day and corruption, I am totally such again a person that I don't really not but I can tell thoughts with respect to the Independence Day and corruption as well. So yes, you can celebrate Independence Day without promoting corruption. Whenever you are going to watch a movie in theater, they played a national anthem so that you have to give some kind of respect and that shows some kind of patriotism as well. I personally feel it's not required because when it comes to patriotism and feelings towards your nation, towards your country, that comes from within. Standing in the is just to promote
way to show the patriotism. When it comes to corruption and independence, yes, we can, of course, promotion. I felt that's not the correct way to use independence. It should come within and without even using the word of corruption as well.
I do consider these topics as tough, but she's a accomplished speaker. She has been Toastmaster for months now, so I expected a good speech from her. And it's a good one. All right, so let's have the members, some online members. Why not other than Shweta? He always is. I will give you a favorite topic. The question to you is, being compassionate about underprivileged is good for country. Why? Question, being compassionate about underprivileged is good for the country. Why? Since is yours, 30 seconds to think.
Okay, I'll take time, 15 seconds to think.
Exactly. Today all are thought-provoking subjects.
Okay, I start.
Yeah, timer.
Whenever we think about underprivileged, why we need to actually call underprivileged, there is a reason behind it. We have only made them underprivileged. They were not born like that. Somehow, by not sharing when we have ample, somehow by not caring when we have ample, because they need only love and our time and the grace of whatever blessings they are getting. We are just little bit more blessed than them. We all are same. We all are humans at the same stage, at the same level. There is no difference. But when we become compassionate, kind towards them, we can hold their hand and take them where we are standing. We can make a chain in which there will be no underprivileged left, because we all who are little bit more blessed than others will be holding the hand of someone who is little less blessed than us. So I will not call them underprivileged. I'll just call them that they are little less blessed than us. But if we form the chain, all of us who are sitting here, one person, if we hold the chain, we all can make them where we are right now, or in fact, much better than us. So I would say that is very little to say about compassion, that what I'm talking about, because wherever is the need, be there. That is enough. It's not only for them, it's for you as well, because we all are here to give service in the form of compassion, in the form of kindness, in the form of love, in the form of smiles. And you see how this will change like this. And our country will never be known for only poverty. It will be known for more than that. So that's what I would like to say. I don't know if my time is over or I have spoken less, though, which is very strange. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Now let's get back to the offline mode with physical members. Guests required. Somebody. Yes. So we have Garvit as guest with us in the physical meeting. Garvit, I'll ask you a very simple question. I understand you are a guest. How does the national anthem bind us? Yes. How does the national anthem bind us? 30 seconds, think. 2 minutes for you. Ready? All right, timer. Listen to me.
So, when we talk about fineness, everything when we are fine or when we are related to one or the other is based upon a feeling of it's based upon a feeling. So it's the same goes with our master plan that we are fine with this because of our feeling of effort. What do you know? Effort. This is the, the main thing that we can relate to and as and another reason we are in our education system because every one of us since our childhood raised with every since all of us has started our bonding in school with listening the national anthem. So the Indian culture made us find with the national anthem. That was
Very brave of you. Now we'll have one more physical member here who has just joined us first meeting. Dr. Sonia. Dr. Sonia, the question to you is, does staying healthy and following healthy life contribute to nation building? The question to you is, does staying healthy and following healthy life nation building? Take 30 seconds to prepare.
Actually, I'm very sorry to interrupt in between. But that is not at all audible. Actually, I'm not able to understand what is going on. The voice is breaking also. It's very slow as well. The volume is very less. If something can be done, please.
Shweta, is it the same with everyone?
Actually, location voice was clear, but what ma'am is speaking is not at all audible.
Yeah, but all of us here in the physical will be invest. Yeah, we have to make an effort to speak loudly.
Speak clearly. So
Yes.
The very first thing that comes to my mind is what is the meaning of nation building? Actually, we want to contribute to the development of this country. So, being healthy, we can contribute a lot in individualistic ways also, as well as in groups, and as well as being part of society. If we are healthy, then definitely we can do so many things to so many people who are teacher, healthy from inside. That would be like also. They will say if you are inside,
you will look good outside. So, the situation, I'll be able to deliver better in my business. So that's how I think my efficiency will improve, and I will be able to, make a difference in my class as compared to a situation when I'm lazy and dull, and maybe I'm not willing to do much in the class. So that's what we as an individual, we can contribute a lot at our workplace. And then secondly, if I'm feeling good, like daily I go to park and I meet so many people, I can spread happiness, positivity, and so many things to people around me. And like we had a very stressful time during COVID times. People were very stressed out. They were feeling. But during that time also, I used to like do a regular walk for 5 kilometers, and I was quite happy. I used to meet many people there. I used to motivate them. And no, this will pass on. We'll come out of it. And we are out of that. So being healthy, I feel I contributed in the life many people who were stressed out. And in fact, for myself also, I could contribute a lot in my life while being healthy, maintaining healthy habits actually, like maintaining a walk for 5 kilometers daily and doing some running, some yoga and activities. I could figure out what I want in my life, what I have to do. So that could be path changing. So during last 3 years, I realized what I have to do in my life, and I'm on that path. So I really feel that being healthy, we can contribute. So the charity begins from our home. So first we can contribute in our life, and then to so many people around us, and eventually we can do. It may lead to. I hope it leads to the nation building. Thank you.
Dr. Sonia, one more online guest.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Let's go for one more.
All right. Yes, Rashmi Sharma, you here?
Yes, I am. Am I audible?
Last question, the last figure, the subject is very, very close to me. I would ask the question to everyone before I ask the question to you. How important is the climate and environment for us today? Anybody who says no, yes?
Very important. Very important. We are leaving India just for the country.
All right. The question to you, Rashmi, is: will working for the environmental protection makes you the fighter for the country? The question to you is: will working for the environmental protection makes you the fighter for the country? Did you get the question?
Environment protection
Makes
will.
you the fighter for the
Oh,
country. Freedom
okay.
fighters fighting for our freedom from the British. Today we need all of us to be freedom fighters to get freedom from pollution, to get freedom from these climatic issues, from global warming.
Yes, yes.
Up here on the top.
Okay, give me a second. Give me a few seconds. I am beginning.
Timer, please start the time.
Lokesh, for me, it's not limited for a nation. It's a cover on entire world, and it covers entire earth. We are true fighter if we stand for our environment. We don't need to colonize on Mars or even any other planet if we are successful to find Earth more livable or habitable. as you can see, environment is rising, environment decaying very largely, but we can stop it. We can successfully regenerate it if we, as Indians or any other nations, come up in unite and do it. For example, you have encountered this scenario where in COVID-19, Ganga ji and many places in Delhi became so clean and more clear to all nation that we were very surprised that time, and we were very happy that period of time. And that period was very small. COVID-19 was like 1 year. In 1 year it happens. So why not? If the time will take a few years or few more dozen years, we can save our upbringing and upcoming generation. Plus, we also doesn't need to make worries about our surroundings, environment, and we don't have to move other country also. So, as per me, it's not limited to one nation or one country or two nation. It we become true fighter for entire earth. That is our need, that is our passion that need to happen. Thank you. Over to you.
In this session, we report, this person has said, see that you want to see others is you. So whatever you feel about the country, whatever you think that our politicians should do, our government should do, our society should do, our friends should do, our family members should do, even anybody who's very close to you and say, oh, I expect this from him or her. Look inside. Do your self-realization. Be the one is God also said. Even our Vidya Buddha said that you should be going into a room where you want to. Keep in that sense when you are coming out of the room. Please change yourself and you see how the change will come in the world. Back to the
And that was the table topic session. So, ladies and gentlemen, another little anecdotal story for you all. And this is the story of Monia. We'll get to know who Monia is in a while. As a child, Monia did not like to stay at home. He would just come home for his meals and then just go out to play. If his brothers teased him or pulled his ears, he would complain about his brothers to his mother. Now, one such day, Monia's mother asked him, why don't you hit your brother when he bothers you? Monia was flipped to the Lord. How can you teach me to hit my brother? Why should I hit anyone? This was Monia when at the age of around 7. Now, during Monia's school days, when he used to share sweets with his friends, he didn't have very many friends. But there was one particular day, he shared some sweets with his friend Uka. Now, Uka belonged to the category of untouchables, a person purportedly belonging to a lower class. Now, Uka resisted taking sweets from Monia at first, telling Monia about his untouchable status. Monia still shoved the sweets into Uka's hand. Now, Monia's mother saw this from a window. Apparently, mothers had nothing better to do than watch their boys from window. So, Monia's mother saw this and scolded him for his act. When Monia asked his mother the reason for not allowing him to share sweets with another boy, his mother said that Hindu custom forbids it. Monia followed up with another question. How is Uka different from me? And his mother had no answer. And as you might have guessed, Monia is none other than Mohandas Gandhi, who holds a unique place in history for spearheading India's struggle for freedom, non-violent means. He uplifted men and women all across the world through all stratas of society, is revered everywhere because of his revolutionary, peaceful approach to our freedom struggle. So, friend, we have heard three stories of freedom fighters, Balakrishna Singh, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, and you would have noticed all the anecdotes, stories, and incidents that I have shared belong to a phase of life. They were young, they were kids. And just imagine, although all of us are playing our part in making our country a better place, many of us kids might have kids who are surrounded by people who are much younger than us. And when you see at these stalwarts like Tilak, Bhagat, and Gandhi, you see that they demonstrated compassion, courage, spirit of exploration, the spirit of peaceful struggle, lifting the downtrodden. They demonstrated all these attributes when they were 6 and 8 years of age. So today, if we see some youngster going out of the way, having revolutionary thoughts, which don't conform to our definition of right and wrong, maybe it is that we allow themselves to be, to express themselves fully, because we still need to attain independence. There are newer things that we need to attain independence from. Yes, the Britishers have gone away. Yes, we are a sovereign democracy, but there are so many more things. Freedom from fear of failure, freedom from corruption, freedom from poverty, and many other things. It is a continuous struggle. And if we see kids around us with revolutionary thoughts, let us just allow them to be and express themselves. This was my time as the host for today. We move on to the third and deepest section of the responses meeting, which is the GB section. We invite the general evaluation. This meeting goes first to the next stage.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, for sharing such amazing stories about the Indian struggle and the freedom fight. Now, with this, I would like to present myself as the general evaluator of the meeting. Like to say, the general evaluator is just evaluates the whole meeting. So, with this, first, I would like to invite the speech evaluators on stage. We had 2 speeches today. So, first, I would like to invite Toastmaster Lukesh, the speech evaluator of Toastmaster Arjun, to please provide an evaluation report of the speech.
Thank you, Madam GE, Toastmaster. I have seen Toastmaster Arjun delivering speech after speech, and he always had a very strong beginning with a clarity on what he wants to say. The speaker today also again knew his subject very well. There were thoughts which he had accumulated. There were certain content which he had prepared when he was quoting the book like A Monk Who Sold His Ferrari or the movie Half Girlfriend. It clearly showed that he did have something in his mind in terms of relating to his subject of mentoring, which was his objective. Another thing which always impresses me is English fluency. It's fantastic. Few recommendations. Since the speaker was delivering his level 2 speech, I'm sure he must have delivered 4 or 5 speeches in level 1 and have been also evaluated and recommended all the changes. Couple of them which I feel he should have done today would have been his body language. Maybe he would have stood up and given his speech because he's joining online and always online in our club at least because he's situated in Mumbai. Second thing which he would have done is more importantly, in between the speech, middle portion, he tends to drag away from the subject. Start like a casual conversation with friend instead of addressing 15 or 20 people in the audience. As if he is sharing his thought with some close friends and talking over it or a tea. I would say please stick to the topic, prepare your content, structure the content accordingly. More and another important thing is that notice you are waiting for 5 minutes to get over. why you had 7.5 minutes, at least 7 minutes, 15 or 20 seconds for yourself. So you lost 15 or 50% of your spoken time doing nothing, which you would have actually delivered. Few examples of yourself as a mentee. It was the second objective of the speech. That what was your experience as a mentee, as a coach? You could have done that. However, I will again insist, as I told, his energy and first of all his courage to come back to the stage each and every time. He's the first person to say, I'm ready for a speech. And that is what has actually impressed him. That he's always ready to improve. He's always ready to face a challenge. It doesn't happen with every speaker. Believe me, I've seen a lot of people who taken 6 to 2 years to become good speakers because they did not deliver speech. They were so scared after first. They kept almost 3 months preparing for the speech, while he just dived into the path. Assuming, okay, I have done something, let me again improve. So kudos to you. Thank you very much, Archie.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rukesh, for the detailed explanation of Toastmaster Arjun's speech. Next, I would like to invite Toastmaster Deepu, the evaluator of Toastmaster DP.
Hello everyone. Toastmaster DP used a rose to start her speech with. Another important part of the beginning, at the beginning of her speech, was invoking Shakespeare and the famous phrase, "What's in a name?" So for me, there were two beginnings to the speech, or two important points at the beginning of the speech: the phrase "What's in a name?" and this rose. Both these parts attracted me as an audience, and I really wanted to know what's going to happen with the threads that Toastmaster DP had opened. I noticed a few things about Toastmaster DP's body language, or the things that she did with her body. First of all, the vocal cords. Toastmaster DP's voice is constantly under play. There are crests, there are highs, and there are lows as she deems fit, and she uses them very, very effectively. I will have some recommendations and suggestions regarding voice, which is actually one of the strong points, but we'll come to it. Also, I noticed that Toastmaster DP was confident with audience interaction throughout. And when you are confidently interacting with the audience remains engaged with you. They are always actually second guessing what you are going to say next. That is the best form of audience engagement, and that stems from the fact that DP was confident. Again, one more comment on the hand gestures. The hand gestures were incisive, they were very appropriate, they were not all over the place, they had a meaning and a purpose. Every gesture had a meaning and a purpose, and she had a gentle smile throughout, which again keeps the audience on your side. Your content can be good, it can be bad. Your delivery can be great, it could be off. But if the audience is on your side, chances are that they will pick up some positives from your speech. So this is what I have to say about this commendation concern. Now the project itself was storytelling. I read the story within a speech. So this DP's speech had a story to have characters. DP's story had strong characters, notably Nagaraj and Upma. Upma was not just a character, there was a hint of humor there as well. And when she talked about, equated it with Paratha, and she also talked about names like Vikramaditya's Princely Stride and Next Sprinkling of Fragrance. That was some beautiful storytelling right there. You had characters, you had visual imagery, and everything that helped you imagine the message that Toastmaster DP was trying to tell. Moving on, the second half of the speech was, well, only the knowledge that she wanted to impart to us. She basically appealed to our logical side. But throughout the time, we were with DP. We were not bored with the knowledge that she was imparting because she had won us over with her smile, with her confidence, and with the story that she was creating. All in all, a fantastic performance. But this rose, the recommendation is that when you start with a powerful visual beginning like a rose, it is always advisable to end with something like a rose. She actually did connect what's in a name again and again and again, but the rose was somewhere missing. Also, I also recommend, it's just a suggestion, that try to speak loudly. It takes effort. It might even take away from your speech, but try to speak loudly. That will force you to think in different ways to be impactful. All in all, a fantastic speech. I would definitely like to hear more from you, Deepti, and the recommendations. With these recommendations in mind, I'm sure that you will hit it out of the park. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ditendra, for such detailed and effective evaluation of Toastmaster Deepti's speech. With this, I would like to invite our tag team players for the reports. First, I would like to invite who was keeping a track of the time, Toastmaster Uma, to please share the report.
Toastmaster Uma is there.
Give me 1 second, please.
So first, let's invite the our counter for the day, Toastmaster Deepti, to share her report.
Well, every time you come to the stage, it gives you goosebumps, but then it also gives you some thrills. Thrills are chills. So today, I'm the art counter and I'm going to share the art counter with you. Well, it was a fantastic meeting. And it has been my best art counter report or my cleanest art counter report so far. We had flawless speakers today. Yes, there were few who had their R's and Ums, and a few who used filler words, and a couple of us who took pauses, short and long. And I will share the individual reports on the guest group as well. But all in all, it was a beautiful, flawless meeting. All of us were speaking fluently and we were putting our points across. There's a little tip that I want to share with each of you in order to avoid the use of asanas. And trust me, I use it every time I'm tempted to pause or to use a filler word. I tend to lower the speed of my sentence, just like I did right now. So what happens is I get some time to think, build the structure of my sentence, and present it to the audience without letting the audience really know. That's the tip I use, and I encourage each of you to use it when you are caught in a situation like I am pretty often. So thank you, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepti, for such detailed report and for also providing the tips on how we can improve on our online marks. Next, I would like to invite our grammarian, Toastmaster Renu, to share her report.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
All right. See, it was such a fantastic meeting, and I would say I have found some of the very good usages of the grammar of the words and the phrases and some sentences as well. So from Toastmaster Deeptendu, I found some words: curious, shivered, anecdotes, procured, and a few sentences which I really loved were: when one Bhagat Singh dies, million more will rise. The next was, I loved the most was, I'm sewing guns to produce more so that I can demolish Britishers. It was really wonderful, and they really seemed very patriotic. From Toastmaster Arjun, I found very fascinating words and idioms were articulating thoughts, competence, having half mentor is helpful, betrayed, hunger found on having something, of the monk who sold his Ferrari. They were really fantastic. And from Toastmaster Deepthi, first of all, I loved the title of her speech, What is in a Name? And then stunned, sheer looks, thoughts wavering, mesmerized, pin drop silence, persona, lanky, sprinkling fragrance, file a petition. They were all marvelous ones. I am really so scared that even though I was all ears, still most of the part of the meeting was going all Greek to me. I could not note down anything from Toastmaster Lokesh and Toastmaster Meh's speech. So I'm really sorry for that. And from the table topic speakers, I noted Toastmaster Shweta's a little less privileged, compassion, and somebody used the word scenario also. They were all very properly used. And a few words and the phrases where I found they were not properly clear, which could be improvised more clear, could have been clearer. Save our upbringing could be protect our kids. Two nations should have been two nations. The saddest part of the meeting, which I really thought so, was nobody used the word of the day and the idiom also. I really felt so euphoric when I could find something to write in my grammatical register. Friends, all Greek idiom became very fashionable when William Shakespeare used it first time in his legendary play Julius Caesar. So I would say, I would suggest actually everybody to please use it very wisely. Like all the time you can use it, and it will really, the same kind of idiom is all French also. All Greek and all French, they all mean the same only. In all, you were all an intellectual lot who did not give me flaws to jot down. So kudos to all. And now over to you, Toastmaster Mehak. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Renu, for such detailed report. Now, finally, I would like to invite the timer for the meeting, Toastmaster Uma.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
The report is, it's most of the time people were speaking passionately. Deepthi ma'am, you were so involved in your speech that you really crossed the limit, but it was good and interactive. Lokesh sir, also this time you were beyond the time. Dipendu, you always speak without any limits. So that's great, because most of the speakers couldn't speak. I mean, including me. So, but there's a time limit. So being the Independence Day, I would like to share my thoughts on that. In the colonial era, enemy was easily traceable. That was British. So we could eradicate them. But in today's time, the enemy could be within us or very close to us. We have to find out the enemy, within us, from around us. We have to create harmony and unity within our nation and find out freedom for political, find out freedom politically and financially. So for the betterment of the younger generation included in our group, we would like to discuss at some point of time how financial freedom is possible for them to start at early. So I think no change can be made unless one or another great soul coming for the purpose is attached to it. So that's the message on Freedom Independence Day. And the report I think I have shared, and that's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Uma, for sharing your report. Now, I would like to invite Toastmaster Jitendra for the active listening session.
So when I was explaining my rules and responsibility, I rearranged the word this. So what were the other two words?
Silence.
Yes.
Silence.
When we started the meeting, we had guests from Toastmasters Club, but we had one guest from outside India. Can anybody repeat? Yes. Pramod Sapra. One of the role players used "Take it till you make it." Yes. Man. So one of the role players said independently spending time. That was a warning.
I think time or
One. Not use everybody use. Some people sometimes people use to speak from it. Who said Purna Swaraj, complete independence? Nice. British the word. No.
Oh, organization.
No. Like. Two parts. So, our speaker one, he used the speech title. He took it from some of the book. Yes. Who wrote it? What was the level of this speech? Level 2. Level 3. 3. Level 3. So, what was the teacher's name? South Indian teacher. Which stuff? What was the teacher's name? Did he mention in Chennai? Anyone from the online audience? The name of the South Indian teacher. I want this answer from the audience, from the online audience. No guesses? First name is Nagaradi Srinivasan Good. What was the name given to Tcst'S kid by her cousin?
Pages.
What was the name of Tcst'S cousin?
Ajra.
What he named his kid actually? Now, how many days that Singh was in prison and how many books? 7 and 6. Rupinder learned his life of time. He foresee what will happen in the future. So what was that period? He mentioned some
Winter season.
no, some years.
Yes.
So not
School time.
School time.
yeah, school time, but some 1998. Toastmaster Rashmi, she mentioned two planets' name. One was Earth. What was the other?
Mars.
Who was Monia in the story?
Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jitendra, for such nice questions. Now I would like to provide my report as a general evaluator. The meeting started on time at 3:15. Sergeant at Arms introduced the meeting and also shared the mission statement, Toastmaster's mission statement. And the guests were welcome, the introductions were done smoothly. The following towards the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Jitendra shared 3 different stories about Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Bhagat Singh and about Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. What was a very interesting thing was that he started the story by not connecting with the name of the freedom fighter. He made that surprising to the audience that he provided the name in the end. Further, he also started the meeting with a pledge, which was a very great approach, and he grabbed the attention of the audience at that time itself. So that was a very nice approach. So kudos to you for that. Coming on to the topic master, Toastmaster Lukesh introduced his role very well. The topics that he gave the speakers, they were very interesting topics and were lined up amazingly and attached to the theme of the meeting. The topics were a little, I believe that the topics were a little, they could have been shortened and which could have made the speakers easy to understand the topics. That was only the recommendation. Further, moving on towards the evaluations done by the evaluation of the speeches, the evaluations were done smoothly, and just I would like to mention that Toastmaster Arjun's background was a little dark, so if that could be improved during the speech, that would be a little better thing. In the end, I would just like to say that the voice modulation of Toastmaster Jitendra was really great, and the stories he shared were excellent. He shared fun facts about the freedom fighters. That was also amazing. And all the tag team players, they shared an amazing report. Everything was on point. So with this, I would like to end my session here and would like to pass the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 25 and we are about to wrap the session up. But before we do that, let us quickly have a round of voting. We have shared the voting link. Where have we shared it?
Yes. In the chat.
Arjun, have you received all the responses? Arjun? And everyone sitting in this meeting room, have they been able to have you been able to vote? Okay, please wait. That's okay. Rupinder, have you been able to vote? There is that. Jitendra, have you voted? All right, so Garvit, you have the link now. You can vote there. So while the voting is going on, we have the presence of our area director today. That is Toastmaster Aditya. Aditya, up front, I would like to thank you for sparing your time, spending some time with us. And I would request you to address this meeting, this gathering, to Zoom. We are waiting.
And so I think.
Pause for Toastmaster Aditya.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Dipendu. So it was a very interesting meeting with a theme which often comes around this time. I have noticed that almost every club in the district has taken this theme because this is something which is common, which happens once in a blue moon. Maybe the next time we'll celebrate will be in 25 years' time, and who knows what will happen in 25 years, because it will be the centenary, or maybe we'll celebrate every 5 years, whatever is the thing. But it's an interesting thing, and I really joined the meeting. And just this is for the EC. I would request them, post the meeting, please stay for a few minutes so that we can have a discussion. That's all. So once the meeting formally ends, I would request you to please stop the recording, because it will be a private discussion, and just the EC team, whoever is available, if we can just have a discussion. Thank you. Back to the Pindu.
Thank you so much, Aditya. And we did not know that we won't be having just one but two area director amidst. And we have Toastmaster Karishma. Karishma, it is wonderful having you here. I would request you to address the meeting.
So much responsibility. So I seriously like the meeting very much. Like, I have attended so many hybrid meetings, but this hybrid setup is like, I was not expecting this kind of hybrid setup, which is like far better than how other clubs are doing. So I'm not comparing, of course, but I'm just complimenting you all guys. And I see there was some kind of a selfish motive that I am here to do because Shivaji College is my college. But I am not regretting at all that I'm here, of course, because in presence of very veteran Toastmasters, and Prem people, of course, like long time Prem. So I really felt very good. I was also telling the thing, and I'm really I want to convey this thing to everyone here as well. And I'm thinking to have the dual membership with this event club as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Karishma. Thank you very much. It was wonderful having you here. And with this, we have completed the round of voting. I would wish you all a very happy Independence Day, a moment of reflection, a day of reflection for all of us, Deepti ma'am. And I would like to give the stage to Toastmaster Megan. Please take the stage as the president of our club. And
thank you so much, everyone. It was a really great meeting, and we had a lovely time with you all. So now I would like to welcome Deepti and Rupinder to please provide the feedback for the meeting.
Please, thank you. Madam President and all people online. I've been meaning to go to some in-person meetings, and that was something pops up. I didn't get a point to go. And I had a rather pleasant experience with you all presenting the evaluation module a couple of weeks ago, maybe. So when DP said that there is an in-person meeting happening, I said, well, let's try it out. I also plugged it with a meeting with a friend, and I'm glad that two things got done. With regards to the meeting, couple of things, I see that there is a practice of asking the tabletop speaker to think for 30 seconds. Usually we don't do that in our club, but then it varies from club to club. Know that this does not happen in the contest. What I would advise is that if you have guests, give them time to think, but if there are members who already have experience with tabletops, go ahead and let them go right from the beginning. Other thing that I kind of noticed, and this is just the evaluator inside this, I found some of the evaluators using the word but or however. My experience with but has been that whatever comes after but, I'm not even listening to it. And I will stop listening the moment you say the word but. For example, Rupinder did a good job, but I will stop listening after. So try not using but in your transition. So hopefully this helps. Nice.
Thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite Toastmaster Tcst'S to to please give a feedback about the meeting.
This was an excellent meeting and still remember that. That is why I thought of calling in the night. Let's not call. Let's be in the venue before see. I like it. Thank you. It was a great meeting and we had a lot of guests. I don't have anything stronger. Everything was fine. Yes, I took up the. It was a great meeting. Thank you. Happy Independence Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jitendra. Next, we have potential Toastmaster Sonia. Please provide and give feedback about the meeting and what did you learn? We enjoyed being here. The topic that we discussed here really might be I can do better as a person. How I can be very society. I think holistic tasks that we can do. I thoroughly enjoy activities. Thank you. I would like to invite Toastmaster.
ये टोस्टमास्टर है कि ये हाँ मुझे ये जाना है ये
अभी आपको अच्छा
हाँ ये मुझे काफी बेहतर लगता है और एज यूजुअल आपकी मीटिंग बहुत ही अच्छी थी और मुझे भी बहुत अच्छा लगा और हैप्पी इंडिपेंडेंस डे एंड ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर फ्यूचर मीटिंग थैंक यू
Next, I would like to invite Toastmaster Draken.
It was an insightful meeting, and what I have liked the most is that everything here is so organized, like every part of it, and everyone is doing their job in a very nice and very graceful manner. So I'm happy to Day to everyone. It was a great meeting and a great night for me.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to host you. Now, from the online world, I would like to invite guest Manorma. Please provide your feedback for the meeting.
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, it was a wonderful session and great learning. It was knowing about the like the stories and idiom of the day, word of the day. Those sessions were really impressive, very impressive, and it was great learning from here. And the short stories which were shared and the story shared by Deepti, that was also very awesome. And thank you. Whole session. Overall, I can say whole session was very wonderful. And happy Independence Day to everyone. Thank you so much. And I would really thank you, Deepti, for giving me opportunity to attend this session. It was wonderful, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manorma. It was a pleasure to have you here for the meeting. Now, with this, I would like you all to say thank you that you attended the meeting here. With this, we will have the certificates provided you and will announce the winners in a short break. Till the time, you can have the snacks and we can have a short break for 5 minutes.
We can wish Arjun a happy birthday because his birthday is on 15th.
15th of August.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I just said it.
What, are you joking?
Yes.
No, it can't be possible. Now you'll be charged for whatever.
Sedition, you will charge back. Sedition. You will charge back with all the costs people incurred. You charge with sedition.
What, are you sure? Are you serious? Like you actually bought something?
No, we are serious. You will be charged with sedition.
Oh no.
They have-
I thought I made it very clear through my judicious use of emojis that I was lying.
We have Toastmasters Club in prison. Maybe Toastmasters Club.
Mhm.
But later on, are we getting?
Yes, these things. Yes.
You.
So Arjun, you send the list of whether it's to Mehek. Give a thumbs up if you want. All right, so I'll stop the recording or